is up, everybody? JoPaWrites here once again, and today we're going to talk about the new Destiny 2 mode, Gambit, which is a PvP and PvE hybrid. If you haven't heard about it, it's a very interesting mode that's free for everyone who has Destiny 2 for on September 1st, and it'll also be part of the Forsaken launch. So this guide is for all the people who may not have heard about the game mode so far and would be interested in playing on the first, as well as wondering if they should dive in once Forsaken does drop. So starting off, it's going to be two teams of 4 battling in a PvP arena environment. To start off with, you're going to have waves of enemies who are going to spawn, and once you kill those enemies, they're going to drop motes. The key is to collect as many motes as possible as you level up, holding 15 at a time, and that way you'll be able to eventually summon a primeval, which is the end boss. But that's going to be for a little bit down the road. First of all, what you're going to want to do is make sure that your team of 4 has set roles going into the match. Now, the roles that you'll be looking at are basically mob clearer, heavy damage dealer, invader, and defender. So you want one person that's going to be running a class that's really going to be excel at killing a lot of enemies as quickly as possible. Now, Stormcaller is perfect for that. Something like that will work. You have a lot of different options, but make sure someone who's excellent at clearing adds. Then you have a damage dealer who can take out blockers. So when you collect the motes, if you you're going to want to deposit them into groups of 5. So 5, 10, and up to 15 is the max you can hold at any one time. Now, at each level, you can once you deposit them, you actually summon a blocker. What a blocker does is it prevents the enemy from depositing any motes while the blocker is active. So, say if you have 5, you'll have a small blocker, then a large block, or a medium blocker, and then a large blocker. So it's very important to not be overzealous when you do have the motes, and the reason for that is if you die when you have the motes, you lose them. That means your teammates can't pick them up. They're not going to be there for you to pick back up. If you die, the motes are gone forever. So you don't. Once you reach 5 or 10 or 15, you're going to want to deposit them pretty quickly. Now, like I said, with your different roles, you're going to want to not only pick out your subclass that's going to be best for that role, but also your weapons, whether you're going to roll with a couple different shotguns or different. Make sure your weapons are set up so you'll be doing the maximum. You'll be most efficient in that role. So after collecting motes and dunking, eventually you'll actually have a invader. This will be one person that can cross over to the enemy side and kill them at will. You have 30 seconds or until your invader dies in order to try to kill the enemy team as many times as possible. The invader will show up on the enemy's minimap just as if they're another enemy that has spawned. So you can hide in the enemies and mix in with them and try to disguise yourself if that's what you want to do, or you can go and just rush them in a different way as well. So the invader's job is to kill the enemy, and then once the primeval, the end boss, is up, then as you're killing enemies, it actually heals the primeval. So you'll hear a lot from Bungie and from other sources that death heals primeval. That basically means anytime you die when the primeval is up, it will heal him. So you gotta be very careful not to die when the primeval's up, so you gotta be very cautious. Now the primeval will also have guardians up, which will prevent you from, or give him a buff basically, make it more difficult for you to kill him while his guardians are up. So you want to be very cautious with that and not just go after him, because it'll take a lot longer to kill him if his guardians are up. That's just something to keep in mind as you're going through, because
Only 5 minutes left.
he will be far more difficult to kill, and you don't want to put yourself in too much of a hole. Going from there, there's 3 rounds. The first team to win 2 rounds wins the Gambit match. So you're gonna want to change strategy in between rounds as well. Say you have somebody who's not dealing enough damage or not filling the right role, and you want to switch it up. That's the time, especially if you've lost. What I saw from my time playing the mode is it's very easy to come back. It's very easy to go from a winning predicament, a winning position, to a losing position in the blink of an eye. Just as you kind of think you've won. Again, if you die a couple times and you heal their permeable, or they get some heavy ammo and they're able to really knock the boss's life down. So don't assume it's over until you've actually finished off the primeval, because the games that I've seen, the games that I've played, have been really, really back and forth, and that's something to keep in mind for sure.
Your enemy can't kill if they're dead.
So, other than that, it's just like any other PvE mode to start with. You want to make sure that you have everyone kind of on the same page. If you're running solo, pay attention to what your teammates are doing. Pay attention to what they're rolling, their subclasses, their weapons, and if your team is struggling at all, try to reevaluate and change things up. Now, you'll want to change it up once you have your super, but once you use your super, and not when you have it, because you will lose it once you change subclasses, so be aware of that as well. Otherwise, it's really all about teamwork, kind of working together. It's going to be hard, like I said, if you're running solo at first, but you'll get the hang of it eventually as you guys go along in the game. So I've seen a lot of people who maybe aren't familiar with each other. Once they get the hang of it after the first round, really start to switch it up and play well. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Other than that, I think that goes over most of it. You're definitely going to want to task somebody with watching for the enemy when it comes to the invader, and save their super for when the invader is around, because unfortunately, if you don't, the invader can come and wipe your entire team, and that'll put you way back, because you have to wait, because the respawn times are not quick. You have to wait for the respawn, and that's going to put you guys in a deep hole. So, other than that,
Zone A lost.
Just have to, like I said, you just have to be aware of what your team is doing, what the other team is doing, and pay attention. Honestly, that's the #1 key in Gambit, is don't let yourself get caught too busy trying to clear ads that you don't worry about all the other things that your team needs to do. And I hope everyone has found this informative. I will actually be playing Gambit on the 1st, and also once Forsaken does launch. So feel free to check me out, twitch.tv/JoPaWrites. And also, I will be posting live gameplay of my Gambit experiences right here on youtube.com/C/JoPaWrites, and give me a like and subscribe if you want to see more content in the future. But for now, have a great day, and I will catch you guys later.